Hey everybody, so today we're going to go into a bunch of different lessons. We're going to be using a new file in Python, so let's do that. We're going to go up to File, New File, and this is going to be eventually Chapter 8. Not Chapter 8, geez. Chapter 9, and we're going to extend Hangman. For this week, we're not going to cover the extension yet. Make sure that you're using hangman.py, so it's a Python file. What we're going to be doing is we're going to eventually make Hangman a lot more complex. And what that's going to allow us to do is have multiple difficulty levels, the availability to have more word choices, and for the word then to be removed and then playing the game again without that word, so people don't know it. So we're going to first need to open up a new terminal window, and we're going to go through some Python terms. Okay, so we're going to go over dictionaries, what a dictionary is. Okay, we're going to go over key value pairs. We're going to go over key and value dictionary method. We're going to go over the choice method, and then multiple assignment. And when I press enter, this is going to work because it's all not actual Python. We know that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is the understanding of a key and a value. So let's first start out and create our first dictionary. So instead of doing brackets, we're going to be doing curly braces. The first is going to be the key of hello. And what's going to be inside there is we're going to have two words. We're going to have hello there, and then we're going to have a comma, and then we're going to have how are you. Then we're going to have for, and then we're going to have the word bacon, and then we're going to have eggs, and we're going to have 9999. Okay, notice all of the different punctuation. We have a key of hello, and then we have a value of hello there, how are you. We have a key of for, and then a value of bacon, and then we have a key of eggs and a value of 9999. Let's see what I did wrong. I think I forgot a comma after the quote. Okay, so this is what the new line will look like. That is my bad. I forgot about a comma. So remember, in between each key and value, there needs to be a comma for the next key and next value. Perfect. So now I want to print out the value of 4. 4 is a key. So if I wanted to print out hello there, how are you, I would put in hello. If I wanted 999 to come out, I would put in eggs. So if I wanted hello, how are you, put in that. And then if I wanted 9999, I would put it in that. So the key matches the value. So now if I wanted to get the length of keys, I would do this. That gets me my 3 keys. There's 3 keys here. There's hello, there's for, and there's eggs. Perfect. So if I wanted to get spam and I wanted to get the second key. Oh yeah, I forgot. We're going to cover that later. All right, perfect. So now keys can have any data type in them, and the only major difference between lists and dictionaries, and that's really like the only difference. So I'm going to do spam again, and notice the punctuation that I choose here. So it's 0 in single quotes, and that's going to be a string, and then I put a comma, and now I'm going to have an integer, and I'm going to have it in single quotes again, and that's going to be an integer. So if I wanted spam 0, what do you think is going to come out? A string or an integer? The value of an integer comes out. If I wanted to have the value of this come up, I would have to put it in quotes. Notice that the data type does not matter. Now let's say I wanted to use a for loop. How do I access the keys versus the values? So for this one, I'm going to create favorites. And remember, we want to use the curly braces. And this is going to be fruit. Then we're going to have apples. This is going to be animal. And that's going to be cats. Oops. And then we're going to have number, and that's going to be 42. If I want to print out all of the keys, I do this. So print K in favorites. I press tab. I then write print K. So the element K in favorites is fruit, animal, number. So I press enter after I create my print. And I'm going to get fruit, animal, number. Now let's say I want to get for K in favorites, and I wanted to get all of the values. I would need to do this print statement. I would need to grab the favorites, but I would need to add in the value key. All right, the value. So this is now the value. So the value for the fruit key is apples. The value for animal is cats. And the value for number is 42. So remember that order does not matter in a dictionary. So there's no order. If there's no order, but they have the same key and value and same information in the key and value, they will equal each other. So I'm going to show that off. So we're going to have favorites 1 equals, we'll have the same information. So fruit, apples, then we'll have animal. Actually, we're going to change that up. We're going to have number second. So number 42, and then we'll have animal, and we'll have cats. And then we're going to have favorites 2, and we're going to switch up the key of animal and fruit. The value will still be the same as well. We're going to have fruit, and my favorite fruit is an apple. And now we're going to have favorites 1 equals favorites. Oh, if I spelled, it's favotize. Oh man, I'm a little tired today. So I spelled it favotize. So that is true. I'm going to rewrite that to actually reflect what I actually wanted to write. I wanted to write favorites 2, and then I'll write, so you guys aren't going insane trying to figure that out. So this is proving that the order in a dictionary does not matter if they have the same key and the same value and there's not extra values. Now in a list, that does matter. So if they are ordered and if they're ordered differently, period, and they have the same information, they will not equal each other. So I'm just going to prove that. So apples, notice that I have just the the bracket for list fave. And now I'm going to have cats, we'll have 42, and then we'll have apples, and then it'll be list fave 1 equals list fave 2, and that's false. So now we're going to show off the key method and values method. So we're going to write favorites. We'll do favorites 1. Okay, I just pressed up on the keyboard a few times, and I'm going to get rid of the 1. I'll press enter. So this is going to be using the list method that we learned about last time. And that's the dictionary, but I just want the keys. So now it's going to list the keys. And notice using the list method brings it out. If I do list favorites dot values, what do you think is going to come up? That's right, the values that are associated with those keys. We can also use the choice method. The choice method is really cool if it's used with the random library. With using the random library, you can just use the choice method to choose any information that you want inside of a list. It saves you a lot of time converting, so you don't have to use randint. This is a huge, huge step. So if I did this, it's going to be cat. If I do this, it's going to be mouse. It's going to be cat again. It's going to be mouse. It's going to be dog. Okay, so I just did it 4 different times, and it came out to be 5 different times, and it came out to be a different result every single time. I'm not going to go over the delete. We know how delete works. Remember, you have to select the index that you want to delete. So remember, if you had a list of animals and you're trying to remove a certain element from that list, ant eater. All right, and I wanted to delete the first index. Okay, it's going to allow me, and if I typed in animals, the list is much smaller. It deletes the index that you want to delete wherever that is. Okay, so now multiple assignments. So this is something that we could have done from the very beginning. So if I wanted to have multiple assignments of a list, we could. So let's say I want to have spam, we want to have eggs, and we want to have ham. So according to the placement of the word to the element in the list, that is the new key. So spam is to apples, eggs is to cats, and ham is to 42. So this is the same thing as spam, and then if we were to do apples cats, 42, and then I chose to do that element. Okay, that's the exact same thing. Now I know it doesn't show up like that, but that's what it is. Okay, it's looking at the list and it's determining the placement. Oh, I forgot to have the equal sign. My bad. Like that, and I did spam. It's the exact same thing. So this is the exact same thing as this. So if I wanted to have eggs equal apples, cats, 42, and then I wanted index 1, and I wrote eggs, it would show index 1. So that's essentially what dictionaries allow us to do with the key and value. It allows us to skip this whole step. Okay, and that's why we want to use dictionaries. It holds a lot of information, it categorizes it according to the key, and then the value is that element inside of that key. So you can possibly have too many or too little elements if you do it this way. So if we had apples, we had cats, we had 42, we had 10, and then we had hello, this is going to be too many values. Now on the other side, if we had too little, okay, this would be not enough values to unpack. So this is really what they're trying to do with dictionaries and having keys and values. So that's the whole point of a dictionary. It's a new way to categorize information and a better way to categorize information to allow you to have multiple keys and then values associated with that key. We're going to get into how we're going to use that with extending our Hangman game to make it a little bit more complex.